Okay, we are live. This is the Success Made Simple live hangout. Today I've got the special guest, JuVan Langford from Thought Life. Uh, he is the Millennial Mentor, and he has a motivational series called Thought Life. Anyone and everyone that's watching this should check it out. It's very cool, very inspiring. JuVan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Tremain. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, man. Good to see you too. So I guess we'll just start it off. So what is your definition of success?
Well, the most common and what I probably agree to is just doing what you love. It's so important to be in alignment with what it is that you're most passionate about, because I feel like you get protected by those things in the same sense. So for me, it would be digital media. I love the layers and textures and colors of content, of producing content and telling a story. I'm a digital storyteller, so in doing that, I've been able to build so many fruitful relationships, and I've been able to travel. It's just been so wonderful, the things that have come as a result of doing what it is I'm most passionate about. So I would say success is doing what you love and then making money as a byproduct and not as the ultimate goal. Because money is great and but it's really being able to do those things without the money. And so when the money tags along, it's always a good day.
Right. Yeah. It's like if you go. I always kind of have the philosophy: if you start doing what you love, obviously you might not be great at it at first to get like paid a whole lot, but eventually you will. You
Right.
know. So it's like do what you love and the money will follow. Yeah, I like that a lot because the more you kind of worry about money, it's been in my experience. Like the more I worry about money, or more I worry about like, when is this money coming in, and when am I going to get paid from this and stuff? It's like the less likely to have the money. It's kind of like this weird dynamic. Like when you're thinking about it too much, you lose it. It's like that. There's a Japanese phrase. It was like when you try to grasp water, it all slips through your finger, like this, like a cup. Like chilling, like you can hold, a bunch or whatever. So anyway, yeah, that's a cool. Yeah. Anyway. Um, so yeah, so okay, so what keeps you going, man? What keeps you? What's like your main source of motivation?
My main source of motivation, I feel like I'm the child in my family who is here to break the cycles. There's lots of in any family dynamic, there are always challenges, whether it's drugs and alcohol, whether it's abuse, whether it's financial bondage, whether it's education, whatever this cycle is that you're looking to your family is going through. There's always someone who has the ability, who has a wherewithal to break those cycles and to create new ones, and virtuous cycles. And so I feel like I'm definitely that person for my family. So my family is a huge factor in everything that I do, wanting to really be a symbol of hope and a symbol of possibilities for my family. So I've been very aggressive and unapologetic when it comes to, taking advantage of opportunities that come my way, and like the one you and I took advantage of as well. Working at Mentor Studios and just being able to be around in an environment where people are growing daily and are looking to become better versions of themselves. So I take advantage of every opportunity that I can to get out there and to meet people and to network. But I love family is most important, and I would say um, secondly is I'm really learning to develop a relationship with myself. I do it for me because I'm no good to others if I am not good to myself. And that's a big lesson that I'm learning now, which is where all this thought life has come into play, and the book coming out, and there's just so many amazing things that are coming from a result of really doing the inner work and spending time with myself. And it's huge. It's huge. So for my family, for myself, and ultimately my ultimate goal is to support men. I really want to support millennial men, young men who are kind of lost and don't have the support system, didn't have the mentorship growing up. And so I do it for that. I wake up and I think about these young kids. I did this volunteer work for an organization here in LA when I first moved here 4 years ago, and it was an audience full of men. They were probably between the ages of like 7 and 17, and they did a huge brunch in the morning. And they set up this huge table, and there was food, there was muffins, there was orange juice, milk, and cereal, and there was a whole bunch of volunteers behind the table. And then on the other side, there were all these kids, and some of them were running around playing. And there was this one kid who was standing by the table with his hands behind his back, and he was sitting there, and I was staring at him, and like, I wonder why he's not interacting with the other kids. So I approach him and I say, "What's your name?" And he tells me his name, and I introduce myself, and I said, "You must be hungry, huh? You're the only one standing by this table." And the little boy said something to me that I'll never forget, Tremain, and I think about it often. He said, "Yes, I'm hungry. Last night it wasn't my turn to eat dinner." And it's moments like that that really have impacted me, and I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of people who are just lost. They don't have the support. They don't have the love in the home. And I do it for kids like that. I do it for young men who are really looking to become the best version that they can be and just need that little push. So it's definitely a huge part of my mission and vision.
Dude, that's great, man. It's cool, like when you're kind of blessed with these opportunities to have that, because it's like, one thing is like thinking about it, like, okay, I want to help others and stuff, but then it's like, holy crap, I see this kid who's probably starving, and yeah, like that's what's so crazy, especially now about digital media and like how easily it is to access information right now, and that's the beauty of it too. It's like, saying you're a digital storyteller, just being able to, share that story with your audience, and someone can connect with it, and even if it doesn't connect with everyone, it still connects like with the right people, and
Right.
then it ends up being this whole, it's like it's the ripple effect, so like uh, um, your stories, via YouTube or whenever you're telling it, you're just like creating these ripples, and eventually, hopefully, they turn into huge waves, huge tidal waves. So, but yeah, that's cool. It's interesting. Uh, yeah. So tell me about, okay. So you've got the Thought Life, the video series, right? And you're on season 2, correct?
Correct.
So then it's kind of fun. It's similar because like I was doing the Success Made Simple series, and then that inspired me to do a book, and I wrote the book Success Made Simple. And then it's cool. You're doing like the Thought Life, and then you're writing the book, and the book's coming out. You said February,
February,
right?
yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah, it's really excited about that. I started the vlog series about a year ago, December 2013, and I did it once I realized how big of a platform YouTube truly was. I heard people were uploading these videos, and it's a cool platform, and there was so much stuff going viral, and I realized, oh wow, this is not only a platform to share content, not only a platform to build an audience, not only a platform to really tap into different information, but the people are making money doing this stuff. Why don't I just start a channel? Eventually, everybody's gonna have a channel. Like, everybody has a computer. Everyone has a printer. Everyone has this and that. This technology is constantly changing and shifting. But digital media, everyone has a phone. Absolutely. So,
Everything in your pocket, dude. Like people can watch this on their phones, right now. So it's like yeah, it's crazy, man. Like being able to push a button, like just or tap. You don't even push an actual button. You just like tap a button, and you can reach a huge amount of people.
precisely. So it's huge. And I thought, I have a message. I've always kind of felt like I had a message to tell. I was a very generous listener as a child, and so I just had all this information. I would read books, and it was very intellectual as a kid, just very attuned to my environment. And as I grew older, I didn't know what to do with it. I would write poetry in college, and I would say right around 2010, 11, when I moved out here to Los Angeles, California, I just thought about it. I'm like, I want to start putting this together. People would ask me on Facebook, "Hey, do you have a blog?" And I was like, "No, I don't." I didn't take it seriously until one
Right.
day a mentor of mine said, you need to write a book. You need to share your gift. You need to share your message. Somebody is going to get blessed by this one day. So I started the vlog series, and originally what happened was I did I started writing the book, and and a friend of mine said, hey, why don't you do a vlog series based on the book? So the vlog series was based on the book, but the vlog series actually launched and took off. So I've been focusing more on the video content, and now I've revisited the book. So
Right.
in the first season, it was amazing. Got a lot of great feedback. But I wanted to really connect with people, and the way I was able to do that was being more intimate and getting in front of the camera. You'll see from season 1 to season 2, it's a lot more voiceover and a lot more athletic undertone. I played sports all my life. All my
Yeah.
life, I played sports, played basketball, ran track, played football, and so there's an athletic undertone. But I'm realizing my audience is not just athletes. It's not just college students. It's now I'm realizing it's men. I want to support men. You know, all this stuff going on with Ferguson and in Chicago, all these just so many issues within what they're saying in the black community. It's not a black thing, in my opinion. It's a man thing. And I think if more men manned up, there'll be less men down. And so there's a
Yeah.
lot of amazing things going on right now in the world and so many lessons that are being learned. But it's not a color thing. It's not a racial, it's a cultural thing. And it's also a man thing. And I think because of the lack of mentorship, because of the lack of empowerment that these young boys are not getting, they're not being fed, they don't know any better. And without the information, how can they make informed decisions, right? So,
Totally. Totally. Yeah. Like I grew up, I wasn't always positive at all. I was always kind of like sarcastic, police and police brutality and stuff. I would write, it's like not that I was that hardcore, you know what I mean? But like, it wasn't until, I had an experience that, I almost lost my life that, it's like, wait a second, there's a lot more to this whole life, and there's a lot more to what you're just being fed, on the media, and just learning that, like, if there's an article that's written, there's always an angle. It doesn't matter if it's certain angle, like political angle, left wing, right wing, whatever. It literally doesn't matter. So it's funny. It's like getting into, I guess, politics briefly is like, that's what I learned. Is like people say the same, like uh, left wing says X about the right wing says X about it. It's like the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's like the same thing. So getting back into like a race thing or the color, or it's, to me, it's like, gosh, it's like everyone is, we're all part of the same race. We're the human race. We're all in this together. We're in this in the world. It's not about like, oh, us versus them. We're like U.S. versus China or North Korea. Like it's like we're all part of the same world. And that's what's so awesome about YouTube, is that people that are all over the world watch it, and it's really, I think it's really raising the consciousness of the world as a whole, which is an amazing thing. And it's awesome that, like, we're blessed with an opportunity to spread a message of love, and that there's more to life than focusing on things that happen, or like, yeah. So I mean, I guess we could go on and on about that, but yeah. um,
ultimately, Tremain, the whole message behind Thought Life, the company, the vlog series, the book that'll be coming out, is mentorship. And a huge part, politics aside, it's mentorship that really
right.
breaks down everything. I feel like the people who have, have sought out mentors and have in turn become mentors themselves, there's a responsibility to share that information, because that's the only thing truly standing between where any of us are in this very moment and where it is we want to be, is information. So we just have to become sharers of that. We just have to become collectors and connectors of that information, and that's exactly what the book talks about. The book, I'm so excited to release it and to really share that information with the world, because it's all available to us. It's so much available in the book. It's called 21 Thought-Provoking Lessons for the Millennial Man. And so I just hope to get that, and I'm definitely committed to getting out there and speaking at different schools and different organizations, and really spreading that message in 2015. So it's
That's
really,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So how did okay, so how did you? Because obviously you said you started off and you weren't always you're not just born a motivational speaker or whatever. Like what got you uh, uh, to the point where like how do you transition, especially someone that if you're just starting out or like you started out a few, even if you have some years under your belt with it, but how do you transition from being an apprentice to a mentor, and then how is that transition from being someone that's in the crowd listening to a public speaker to being the person on stage? Like tell me a little bit about that transition and what it's like, and you know, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, growing up, just a little bit about my story. I grew up in the East Coast and outside of Boston, and I was raised by a single mother. I was adopted at age 4, and my mother's mother raised me. She legally adopted me and my sisters, and so she raised us, and she was my first mentor. And easily put, just simply put, a mentor for me is a no matter what. Is a person who's in your life regardless of what it looks like. No matter how many times you mess up, or how many trophies you get, no matter what is happening in life, they show up for you, and they are there. They are a generous listener. They are available to you. You have access to them, and you're able to share no matter what. And so my grandmother was my first mentor, my first no matter what. And as I grew up, these men would come into my life, whether they were coaches or they were friends of family or I mean, just colleagues of mine in school, or everybody can be a mentor. And a mentor is just somebody who carries information that'll support you and get into the next leg of the journey. And so we're all mentoring each other. We don't even know it because everybody carries different information. And as long as you're listening, you're being mentored. And as long as you're speaking, you're mentoring. So we're already doing it. It's just being aware of it and listening to people and seeing what they're actually asking for, what is going to support this person in getting to the next part of the journey. And so that's really my focus. And I say, I'm affectionately known as the Millennial Mentor because our generation, this generation right now, is one of the most powerful generations to date. To date, the facts are out there. Period. I could sit here and name hundreds of facts about the millennial generation, but we need to mentor each other. We need to be able to support each other and building it up because it's not about us. And when we make it about us, then nobody wins.
Right. Totally. It's like yeah, the more selfish you are, you're not going to help others. But if you're putting others first, then you're going to get you'll get yours. So universe, God will provide for you. So which actually I kind of want to talk about faith for a second, if that's okay with you. Like so, did you grow up religious, going to church every Sunday, or I don't know, like for me, like I was raised Catholic, went to church every Sunday, and that had a whole, effect on me and like how I was born and raised, going to private school, all boys Catholic high school and stuff, and right when I was at a point where I was doubting my faith is when I had the incident that happened that reinstilled everything about my faith and completely, blew the lid off of what I believed before and what regular, I guess, religion kind of teaches you about, like, if you're a bad person, especially like Catholic, it's like this whole guilt thing that came with that's a whole nother subject. But anyway, were you raised in the church, or did you go to the church, or did you are you more like have a different kind of I guess religion, or your own kind of religion, or tell me about it.
Absolutely. In short, Tremain, I believe in God. I did grow up in the church, and I also went to a Catholic high school. From 7th to 12th grade, I went to Catholic high school.
Oh,
Yes. It was a great experience, and it definitely gave me a spiritually sound foundation. I'd say my spiritual journey has definitely transitioned. It's more important for me to have a relationship with God than it is to be in church every Sunday. I do attend church pretty regularly, but I I love God, and it's a huge part of who I am as a man. And I definitely have, I don't knock anybody who doesn't believe in God or anybody who has a different belief, whether it's Buddhist or Jewish or Catholic, whatever you believe. As long as you believe that there's something bigger than you, and that's the most important thing. Whatever you want to call it, however you want to attend a service or not, it's up to you. But I believe in God, and period. It's been a huge part of my journey. I feel like um, whenever I'm unable to communicate how I feel, I always can lean on that relationship. And it's been a huge part of me, and I talk about this in the book as well. And 21 thought-provoking lessons for the Millennial Man. I talk about that. I talk about how most people are missing out on the most important relationship in their lives, and that's with themselves. And when you are in control and content with yourself, then it only strengthens your relationship with the higher being. And the journey here is not about others; it's about us. And how can I be the best man or woman that I can be, for others? Because it's about, at the end of the day, for me, it's about service. It's about being a servant leader and really supporting people in their journey of inner work, in their journey of being their highest self, and really being a contribution to the world. Because ultimately, what I know, Tremain, is that the universe, when it's all said and done, it will not regret my company. I'm very much convinced in that, and so I'm very focused when it comes to doing the work.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we, individually, we're just a grain of sand, in the ocean, but the effects can be huge. It's like what you can do on this planet, what you leave behind. It's like when you die, and you will, which is it's just a fact of life. Like what will you leave behind, and what did you do? Like what did JuVan leave behind? And it's cool that you'll have the video series and the books and obviously it's just the beginning of everything, but so okay, so once you become like I've kind of experienced this, like once I become, because I wrote my first book last year, put it out, and I about it, like I wrote a book, and you know what they did? They laughed. They just laughed in my face. Like ha ha, you wrote a book. Ha ha. What did you write about? Like, oh, I went to the store and I went back, whatever. Kind of, and that's tough. To me that's tough because I guess what I was expecting to hear or something that I was wanting to hear was like, hey, you wrote a book. What is it about? What is this? And like an interest in the book. So it's kind of always been like. It's funny, like before, I always wanted to do film and that was like, my passion and all that stuff. But I was always faced with this resistance, like, no, you have to go to school, you have to get a job, you have to do this, and that's, what kind of like barriers have you had that are, I guess if you're not being successful or if you're not like putting yourself in the direction of your dreams and your goals, then you're not going to face opposition. People aren't going to be like, oh no, you shouldn't be doing that. Like what? I would love for you to share some examples because I know you had to have it. Like people say like, oh, JuVan, really? Like you're going to be a YouTube star? Like having these like snide remarks. Like how? Yeah. What experience have you had and how have you dealt with it?
Well, I'll start by saying, first of all, congratulations on writing the book, because the person you become on that journey, Tremain, is somebody who everyone deserves to meet. It's someone that you deserve. It's an experience that you get to have. So it's huge. So kudos to that, and taking the time to invest, in other people. The book, you didn't write the book for you. You wrote it for other people. So that someone would read it. Right? I'm assuming someone would read it and they would have a takeaway from that. That's the purpose of the book. So you made it not about you. You focused out. So that's huge for you. So you didn't do it for them. And I'll tell you one thing that I have realized. I realized that friends and family won't start supporting you until strangers start to celebrate you. And it's really unfortunate, but it happens all the time. And you hear so many successful entrepreneurs talk about that. How, I wanted my sister to be excited for me. I wanted my mother to be proud of me. I wanted my dad. But then they realized that it wasn't about them, that they were doing it for something much bigger. And that's why it always goes back to your reason why. What is your reason why you do this? And family is obviously a lot of people's number one, but it's about yourself. It's about the other people.
Right.
So I say for me, there definitely been barriers. I've wanted another supporter of my mother and father, and they haven't really been in the picture of my life, and I was adopted. So that's definitely been a barrier to entry. But I realized that my mother and father played the role they were meant to play in my story. And so I'm no longer upset or have any strife or any, I don't consider it a barrier anymore. I consider it an opportunity. Like, okay, now I get to be that person for somebody else. But there will always be barriers, Tremain. There will always be barriers, but that's what keeps us in the game, entrepreneurs. That's what keeps you focused. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you on point. And for me, it's fire. It's fuel. I get excited when someone gives me a challenge or they say that they're not interested. Okay, I get to be more creative. I get to go harder. I get to network more. It's an opportunity. Everything, all those things, those interactions or those disappointments or barriers, I say every opportunity is an opportunity to be an opportunity.
I like that, dude. That's awesome, dude. That's legit.
What's the problem? The problem.
No, it's true. It's true. Like, every opportunity, good or bad, or something that they say like an obstacle is an opportunity, in is an opportunity in disguise, or it's a gift that you get because there's a saying that's uh, smooth sailing doesn't make good sailors, right? I think the quote's probably a little bit but you know what I mean. Like, so clear seas doesn't make a good sailor, So it's through the hardship and obstacles and everything that we become experience and become better, I'm a firm believer that it's not that things really get better. I think they do get better, but they get better to the extent that you get better. So the better you are at handling things, like handling objections, if it's someone like, oh gosh, this video costs way too much, like I can't believe this is, like learning how to beat those barriers and deal with those obstacles that just fly at you. You can just kind of catch them and throw them back, throw them out for dude.
Absolutely. I'd also say, to take a look at this, Tremaine. Like when you wrote the book, was the book for your family or was it for other people? It was for others, right?
Right. It was for others, man. It's like it's the book that I wish that I had read, 20 years ago. Like when I was a kid. Like I want like this information because it's just because after what happened and you'll read my book what happened to me. After that, it's like I really turned around and started reading all these personal development books and read some really amazing ones. But then I also read some like really long and like wordy ones that were like so it's like they're just so I didn't really connect with it, right? So my thing being success made simple, because I think everything about success is simple. If you think about like exercise, if you think about, even getting a job or anything, like it's all simple steps. Doesn't mean it's easy, but like as you said, like if I'm, a vessel to say this information, I want it to be as simple and straight to the point, so anyone can just pick it up. Like anyone can read my book in like an hour. It's like 59 pages. It's really straight to the point, but it's 10 chapters, and I don't go on and on about frivolous details, which a lot of these books do. I won't name names. There's one very popular book that came out. Maybe I'm just not at a point in my life where I get it or whatever, but it was just so wordy. I tried reading it and yeah, so Anyway, I believe, success is simple and straight, to the point. Doesn't mean it's easy, but you know, there's a joke. There's this a guy goes to the doctor and his finger's hurting, and he's like, "Doctor, it hurts when I do this." The doctor goes, "Well, don't do that."
Yeah.
Anyway, anyway, you don't have to do what hurts you. You don't have to do things that you feel like you're pressured to do, whether it's drugs or alcohol or drinking, or if your friend's hitting you up to go out and you have a deadline. You don't have to do these things that hurt you.
Right. One thing that I would love to offer your listeners, and in this moment, when it comes to family and friends, something that I've learned on the journey, I think would be very valuable. It's 3 words, and it's something that has hit me very hard just in the last couple of years, and I'm realizing it. And I think once you get past this barrier or this train of thought that we've been trained to think, I think it would be really rewarding for people. And those 3 words are: everybody can't come. Where you're going, everybody can't come.
Oh,
it's very, very refreshing once that really sets in for you. When that really sets in, that everybody can't come. There are friends in high school who I'm like, this is going to be my friend for life. We play basketball together and track. We don't even talk to them. There are people who I've met in college, professors, and they just poured into me, and I'm like, you're going to be in my life for the rest of my life, and nowhere to be found. We grow apart from our families, and we personally develop, and we feel different. We have different emotions. We have different train of thought processes. We have different relationships, and so we branch off and go out into the world, and we are just different. We're growing every day and every moment with new information. You have new experiences. With new questions, you get new answers. And so siblings don't have as strong a connection as they had growing up in the household. And you feel like everybody's going to be able to come and bring you, and then you lock yourself to the idea that they have to be there, and then you set yourself back from getting to the place where you need to be. And so if I could give any information to somebody who is really looking to really make major moves in their life and to do something on a grand scale, is to not be attached to who comes with you, because there are people who are waiting for you. There are people who are excited to be a part of your journey.
No worries.
To be a part of your journey, and want to support you in any way that they can. But if you're attached to something, you'll never make it there to get that information. You'll never make it there to have that experience, and you'll never make it if you are attached to thinking that everybody gets to come, because they don't. They just don't. It's just how that works.
It was interesting. There was a point a few years back when I saw a homeless man, and like, have you ever seen a homeless man like walking, and they've got this like huge basket, and they've got just a ton of stuff like in their basket. There's a homeless man that was he was walking, and he had this grocery cart, and like, dude, it was like stacked like taller than he was, and it was all it was like clothes and like dirty like junk, and I'm like, gosh, like I was kind of like that homeless man going up a hill carrying this fat cart that probably, if someone pushed off a cliff, I would have been better off. It's like better off with just the clothes on your back than carrying all of this baggage, emotional baggage, literal baggage, and I like what you said before. It's like knowing that where you're going, not everyone can get there, or not everyone is going to be able to, and just knowing that that's how it's supposed to be. You can let go of these things that are holding you back, or things that you think are it's all a mental game too, especially being here, especially trying to mentor others. You have to be on an emotional and mental level higher than than them, and you have to maintain that, because if you don't, then you know, if you're not growing, you're dying. You know? So.
That's true.
Okay, cool. Let me. I think I got a couple more questions, and then we can kind of wrap it up. But one of the questions is, what do you think separates the good from the great?
There's this quote that I heard recently, and it really I went and I put it on my wall in my room at home, and it said, "Innovation is rewarded, execution is worshipped." And what separates the good from the great for me is execution. You've got to execute. It's in simple form. It's living your life based on results. Did you do it? Did you complete it? Did you not? Is it red or is it black? Is it up? Is it down? Is it left? Is it right? It's really in business and as an entrepreneur. It's all about the result. People want to work with people who are producing results in their lives, who are making major moves, as I would say. And so it's execution. Execution is everything.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Especially with YouTube, it's like if you say, you know, if you have a schedule for your videos and you say like, oh, okay, the video's gonna be up every Monday, you know, or whatever it is, it's like better be up every Monday, you know,
Yeah.
because if not, you know, you're gonna be held accountable, and then people are gonna be like, well, this guy is just full of crap. I showed up on Monday, this video wasn't here, you know. And YouTube, it's hard to lie, dude. You can't you can't front, you know, because people see right through that, and that's why I think I like the beauty of the platform. I like, and what makes the platform so beautiful is that, you know, for that exact reason. I mean, there are people that are on YouTube that off YouTube are different people, but that's a whole other thing. But when you're on YouTube, most people can tell that, and you know, that's why my goal is to upload a video every day for this year, and that's something. It's like if I don't upload a video, it's like I held myself accountable to that. Like, holy crap! But what's interesting is that, like, you know, I've lost a few subscribers because, you know, if you start uploading way more than what people are used to, they get, you know, shifting.
Right.
But I know it's shifting towards going who my real subscribers are going to be, who the real audience is going to be. And once people can expect that, then everything grows. Oh, you know what was really interesting is what we talked before about, you know, about hustle, like working hard and everything. Is, you know, and I said something, you know, that 90% of a rocket's fuel is used on liftoff. So especially, you know, as an entrepreneur, start launching your company, getting your book off the ground and everything, like, you work so hard, you know, to get off, and then the last 10% gets you to the moon and back.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but, you know, I don't know. I also believe that, like, once you work really hard and you get to that point, you can work even harder and even more done, you know?
Yeah.
So, but you don't have to use so much fuel, I guess. I don't know. We can go on the analogies. But, okay. Let me see. I see that. Okay. One last question, and then I'll let you go. What do you think makes a great leader?
A great leader. A great leader is a great reader. I have read so many books, Tremain, and leaders get to continually pour into themselves. You know, there's a quote that I love. I love this quote by John C. Maxwell, and he says, "He who calls himself a leader and has no followers is only taking a walk."
Is it only taking? Oh, dude, yes.
And I love that quote. And so people must be willing to follow leaders, and people are willing to follow those who have information that's going to support them in their journey. We all want that. We want to be loved. We want to be acknowledged. We want to be a part of. And you know, being a leader, there's a responsibility to pour into people. And in order to pour into people, you must first pour into yourself. And that, for me, is through books. I read a lot of books. I watch a lot of TED Talks. I am constantly engaging with friends who are other thought leaders in Los Angeles. Preston Smiles. I'm talking with, you know, guys like Lewis Howe. I'm connecting and collaborating and reaching out to people from different countries and speak different languages, and they're part of different academies. I just got accepted into the Archangel Academy in 2015. I'm really excited to people, 150 thought leaders who come together and build 6- and 7-figure companies. So it's constantly being out there. It's constantly putting yourself out there. It's constantly not making it about you. Don't make it about you. It's not about you at all.
Right.
Never make it about you, because it's not. You will get blessed as a byproduct of helping other people. Service. The more I give, Tremain, the more I get. The more I give, the more I get. The more I give, the more I get. So I've become a generous giver. I give of my time and volunteer. I'm involved in a lot of organizations. I work with the Tiger Woods Foundation. I have a mentee with the Tiger Woods Foundation. I mentor a child in their program as well. I have my organization called Mentors Making Major Moves, where we mentor foster youth, young boys, and we expose them to the arts and entertainment industry, which was a huge part of my story, growing up and modeling as well. And so I'm always involved in different things. I love supporting and giving back to the community and organizations, brothering organizations who have a similar mission and vision as myself.
So since you're doing all these things and you're obviously like juggling a lot of things, like how do you typically work? Do you typically have like a set schedule in the day, or are you like you just have a list of things you need to do on a day-to-day basis, or how do you go about managing all these?
Yeah, I have lots of whiteboards with lots of words and letters, and gotta stay organized. It's huge. I also always have a notepad and a pen, because I am a student of life and I love learning, and there's always a golden nugget of wisdom in every conversation, every interaction. So I keep that, and also the phone. I have plenty of notes in my note section of my iPhone. I was a part of a project recently, and if you guys know, I'm sure some of your listeners know Eric Thomas, E.T. He's called the Hip Hop Preacher. And he's phenomenal. He said something recently that he wakes up at 3 a.m. and he said, I may not be as smart, I might not be as handsome, I may not be as rich, but one thing I do know is I got 5 hours on everybody, and if I do that every day for the rest of my life, there's no way I won't be ahead of you. And so I wake up very early. I wake up at 4 o'clock. I try to get to bed about 10. And I wake up at 4, and I'm up, and I don't have the 5 hours, but I got about 4 hours on my opponents or other people who are doing the same work, and I go hard. I go hard, and I'm very organized, and I have an amazing team. I have an amazing network of friends, and one thing I've learned is to ask for support. You know, if my goal and my mission is to support people, then people must be involved in the process as well, right? And so requesting support as a leader is really big, and having a very set schedule when it comes to uploading content, when it comes to being of integrity and uploading daily content, so people know that you're relevant, because you're only relevant when you're in the timeline. If you're not posting on Instagram or on Facebook, you're irrelevant. And so that's what we do. We're having photo shoots and working, collaborating with people on different projects, supporting them in the process of raising my mission and raising their mission, and so it's all about collaboration. This year, 2015, is about collaboration, so I'm open to learning and growing with every and anybody who is out here doing the inner work, who is conscious of their thoughts and really want to raise the awareness of the millennial generation. I'm on board, and which is why I'm on board for your podcast. I'm here to support you any way that I can. I love what you're doing. This is huge. It's really huge, and so I commend you for doing the work. There are a lot of people who say, oh, this year is going to be different, new year, new me, and nothing really changes. So I commend you for saying it and then doing it and being a man of your word. And I support you, Tremain. Support you 100%, my brother.
Man, I support you as well, and I really appreciate that, you support me as well. It's interesting, like when you say something, when most people say something, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe this is going to happen, maybe it's not going to happen. But yeah, I've learned that, like, hey, if I don't, then your word's no good. If your word's no good, then you're no good. So. But I have a long way to go. I know, but hey, it's a journey, and we're all getting there. So yeah, I really appreciate you being here and being on board and talking success and getting to share. I really hope anyone watching or listening or that's going to watch us in the future. I hope that they got a lot out of this, and I think they did. So yeah. So where can people find you? What's like the best way to reach you?
The best way to reach me is on any social platform on Facebook under JuVan Langford. My handle for Twitter and Instagram is also JuVan Langford. So reach out, tag, inbox me, direct message. I'm pretty good at responding. If not, my team will get back to you in a timely manner. And if you guys have projects coming up or you have any speaking engagements you'd like me to be a part of, the book will be in pre-sale at the top of February. And so just stay tuned. There's lots of exciting things coming up. Some things I would love to share right now, but unfortunately can't. But I'll just say now, check out Stay on Instagram and Facebook. We have a lot of exciting things coming up in 2015, and I can't wait to share and support others. And if you guys are in alignment with the mission and vision of what I've shared so far, follow me, I'll follow you back, and let's collaborate in 2015.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'll also put all these links in the description below. You can send me all the links, and I'll make sure to get all of them so people can find you and reach you. And then also, I've got a little gift for you. Since you're on the show, I'm going to send you a copy of Success Made Simple. So
awesome.
yeah, so I'm gonna send that off to you, and yeah, I hope you like it, and I look forward to reading your book in February.
Can't wait to getting your feedback as well.
Awesome, man. Yeah, dude. Likewise, I would love love feedback and appreciate anything and everything you have notes wise for my book, and we'll get better. I know your book isn't going to be the first book that you write. I know you've got a lot more.
Yeah,
coming, so.
Like I said, stay tuned. There's some exciting stuff coming up, so I'm excited to share as well.
All right, well, cool, man. Well, thanks again. About to end the broadcast. Thanks a lot for everyone watching this. Like this video, share it with a friend, share it on your timeline, and let's get this message of success out there.
Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Go to YouTube. Thought Life, and you'll find it. Subscribe, share with your friends. We got some amazing content. Tremain, you're amazing, man, and I look forward to building with you in the future.
Thanks, brother, man. You're amazing as well. Thank you. All right. Later, guys. Bye.
All right.